tonight, huh? You ready for some football? I bet you are. We're going to begin our program and get things started, and the honored guest tonight will be Dalvin Cook and head coach Jimbo Fisher. We also have the Pfeiffer family here tonight for a special announcement, so let's go ahead and get things going, okay? 42 seconds left in the game. Michigan leads 30-27. Andre Francois facing 3rd down and 9. Here is the snap. Francois rolling left under pressure throws. It is caught. Nyquan Murray. Touchdown FSU. Touchdown Florida State. Bulls take the lead 33-30. Boy, what a way to finish the Orange Bowl, wasn't it, huh? A great finish for the Florida State Seminoles and all of our fans who were down in South Florida and saw Florida State beat the 6th-ranked Michigan Wolverines. How about one from a few years ago, maybe 3 back in 2013. It's 1st down and goal from the 2-yard line. Florida State trailing Auburn with 17 seconds left. Winston under center takes the snap. He rolls, he's under pressure, throws the ball. It is caught. It's caught. Caught by Kelvin Benjamin. Touchdown FSU. Noles retake the lead. 33-31. You know the rest of that story, don't you? We beat Auburn and won the BCS National Championship, our 3rd. How about them Noles? Tonight, head coach Jimbo Fisher, who engineered that tremendous 2013 season. Remember the 29-game win streak? Huh? One of the longest in the history of college football. Well, he did that without number 4 in his backfield, and then number 4 joined him, and that's Dalvin Cook. How about a big welcome to Jimbo? And oh, by the way, even without that number 4 jersey, which, by the way, I think Dalvin looks great in that jersey, but he looks great without that jersey. What do you think, Seminole? Jimbo and Dalvin. Hey, Dalvin's here. I didn't call his name on those last 2 calls. What do you think? Are you ready for some Dalvin Cook? Oh, yeah! The game is just underway, and we already trail 7-0. We're in Tampa, Florida, Raymond James Stadium. Florida State starting at the 25-yard line. Here's the snap. Andre Francois hands the ball off. Dalvin Cook pops out left. He's got daylight. Outside to the left. Got a blocker downfield. I think it is Travis Rudolph. He's to the 25-40. He's to the 45-50. He's to the 35. Touchdown FSU. Touchdown Florida State. Dalvin Cook. 267 yards rushing in that ball game. Over 300 yards total. 329. The most in Division I this past season by a football player in Division I. Dalvin Cook, number 4. Hey, is it just me? Is it just me? Or has number 4 always played his best football against the evil Empire South? Midway through the 3rd quarter, Miami leads 13-3, and a huge possession for the Noles. 1st down at the Noles 41-yard line. Francois in the shotgun formation takes the snap. He rolls a little to his right, under pressure down by Miami. He throws, caught. Dalvin Cook is wide open. Dalvin Cook down the sideline, 35, 25, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown FSU. Dalvin Cook takes it to the house. 13-10 after the point after touchdown. 150 yards, Dalvin, against the Miami Hurricanes. You don't like playing against those guys, do you, huh? 3 100-yard games in your career against the Miami Hurricanes. Now, we know what Dalvin Cook has meant to Florida State football. We know what Dalvin Cook has meant to Florida State University, period. We wouldn't be here if we didn't appreciate what he has done and what this football team has done. But the record book will always remember this particular play. We're in Syracuse, New York at the Carrier Dome. There are 8.5 minutes left to go in the game. Florida State moving left to right from the 44-yard line. The snap. Dalvin Cook takes the handoff out of the pistol formation, running left, finds a hole down the sideline to the 50-40. He's shoved out of bounds at the Syracuse 20-yard line. Cook has just broken Warwick Dunn's career rushing record with that carry. Dalvin Cook. And my golly, I can't, Dalvin. We beat Miami. You never lost to those guys. You never lost to the Florida Gators. And on 2nd down and 3 from the Gators 17-yard line. 2nd down and 3, trying to capitalize on a fumble by the Florida Gator offense. Francois the shotgun. Here's the snap. Hands off the Cook. Dalvin runs left. A little daylight. Tiptoes down the sideline to the 10-5, 3-2-1. Touchdown. Touchdown FSU. Noles lead the Gators 6-0. Dalvin Cook. Dalvin rushed for 153 yards in that game, and we never lost to the Florida Gators with number 4. How about them Seminoles? How about Dalvin Cook? All right. Dalvin, I'm worn out, baby. You know, that's 5 touchdowns that Dalvin scored, Jimbo. And he only scored 48. Yeah, well, okay. Continue that thought, Jim.
If he goes to Tampa, you're really going to be worried. He did not realize you did Tampa's games, so I just told him. When you met on Sunday, he thought you were
the sweetest sound on the planet, Dalvin Cook, is touchdown Florida State. The second sweetest sound on the planet is touchdown Tampa Bay. Fire that I've done that about 882 times, 1,985 touchdown Florida State, so we're a little behind. Now, if Dalvin, again, number 19, if Dalvin were to play for, I bet we catch that number of Florida State touchdowns in a real hurry, huh? We'll be at 1,000 we were 2 years ago. Anyway, we're here with head coach Jimbo Fisher and Dalvin Cook. That's why we are here. And Jimbo, what in the world is it like coaching a young man from Miami, Florida that you recruited, you knew, you're familiar with everything? What was it like recruiting? Are there any stories you can tell us that we may not have heard yet about your relationship with Dalvin?
I mean, the first time we ever met Dalvin, we came to camp for his junior year. And it was a matter, and then if I remember, he committed to 2 of the evil empires.
I did.
First it was Clemson, then it was Florida, and then he saw the light and got saved. I swear, after watching him in camp, and then he started having those years, and I told whoever's got Miami, I said, I don't care if he goes to Hong Kong, okay? But if he's not at Florida State, I better not play against him. But I mean, he's one of those guys, and I say that, there's very few guys ever in your lifetime, in your career. I mean, you can't go get all the great recruits. I mean, I'm serious. You try to get all the great players, and listen, Florida's going to get good players, Miami's going to get them, Clemson's going to get them, Alabama's going to get them, Georgia's going to, all those great teams are going to get good players. But, and then you say, all right, they got them, we'll play. But you can count, I probably beat 8 or 10 guys in my career that I've ever recruited in the last 30 years. You say, something? I pray to God, if we don't get him, we never have to play against him. And he was by far one of those guys. And I mean, to me, that's when you're a coach on the other side, that's the ultimate compliment you can ever receive. Is if I don't have him, I sure don't want to play against him. Because he was different, and he was. And then the uniqueness will get him back, and of course, one of the greatest in history, if not the greatest running back in Florida State history. But it was actually a very easy recruit in a weird way. He was always quiet, and I'll tell the story now. What'd you tell him? Dalvin said this, he'll admit it. He told us a long time ago he was going to come. He said, I just don't want to switch over right now and listen to all the people. I'm going to be there on Sunday. We knew that was a hard secret to keep. I'm going to tell you that right now. He said, if I flip now, they're going to beat me up. He said, I won't do it at the end. Won't have to worry about it. That's his story. So I actually knew 6 months ahead, so I was a lot more relaxed.
Jimbo, when you go back to the recruiting process, and Dalvin comes to Florida State, and he didn't start the first couple of ball games, but there was an injury in the Syracuse game, if I'm not mistaken, and you became the primary ball carrier, and you were still a freshman, and the rest is history. I mean, 4,000 plus yards, the all-time leading rusher in the history, and you did it in 3 years, Dalvin.
It was utterly amazing. And the thing about it, I'm going to tell you this, the greatest thing I ever appreciated about it, he was a 5-star recruit, everyone knew how great he was, but he never was entitled. He never came in here expecting anything. He never asked for anything. Because he actually came in early. And if you remember, I was actually worried that we recruited the wrong guy because he actually blew his shoulder out running up the steps to work out. I said, this guy can't run up the steps. How's he going to run across the field? And that's how it just first, he worked out. Remember, we had about 4 or 5. But he jumped out. He came in here the first day. And I remember he never said a word. It wasn't, he didn't walk around, he just put his clothes on, went to the back of the line, lined up, and all of a sudden we started doing drills, and he started running by everybody. He acted like he'd been here for 3 years from the very first workout he ever hit in fourth quarter drills. Then a week later he busted his shoulder, and then we didn't, that probably set him back as much as anything because he didn't get to go through spring ball. And then in fall camp, we had some other great backs, but he never said a word. Coach, I'm not getting enough carries, I'm not playing. He said, when my opportunity comes, I'm going to take advantage of it. And he did, and like I say, Mario was having a great game, matter of fact, in Syracuse, and he went down, and we started handing this guy the ball, and it was a little bit different. I mean, it was just a little bit different. As they say, the rest is history, and probably looking at the greatest running back in the history of Florida State University.
46 rushing touchdowns, 22 100-yard games, ties the Big War gun for 100-yard rushing games, and after just 3 seasons, Dalvin Cook is going to go to the NFL. We know that. Now, Have you, any of y'all heard these stories that Jimbo just mentioned? Huh? Have you read about them in the newspaper? That's why we invited great Seminoles to come here tonight to honor Dalvin Cook. He's going to sign this pillar in a little bit, and we're going to have our first Champions pillar etched forever by the one and only Dalvin Cook. But Coach Fisher, congratulations on a tremendous recruit in Dalvin Cook and bringing him along and saying, here's how you play Seminole football.
He also, it was real easy, I promise. You just kind of headed him in the right direction and giving the assignments, and everything else kind of took care of itself.
Jimbo, thank you very much. Dalvin, got to ask you a question. Jimbo Fisher, 11 wins this season, 8 consecutive top 10 finishes in recruiting. My 8 now, count this one. By golly, it doesn't get any better than having Jimbo Fisher as head coach. Huh? I'm not going to ask you about Alabama. We played them in like, what, 132 days, I guess. I'm not going to ask you about 134. I'm not going to ask Jimbo about Alabama, okay? I want to talk to Dalvin. What do you think? Dalvin, very first time I saw you, you were at the Tucker Center halftime, and the Dairy Farmers Association was honoring you as Mr. Football in Florida. First time I ever saw you. You look great then, you look great now. Among that memory and others, are there any special memories that you'll carry with you for the rest of your life from Florida State University?
Yeah, I can start by saying, my best memory was the first time I came out the door. And coming out, seeing the best fans in America, seeing the best people, and just running out there with my brothers and running out there with Coach Fisher, it was something that I always remember because, once I gave him my word, and once I gave my teammates my word that I was coming here, just running out the tunnel with them, seeing the best fans, seeing that spear get planted in the ground, it's not like it.
Seeing the spear in the ground, Renegade Osseo, the greatest pre-game show in college football. I'm telling you, Dalvin appreciates that. Hey Dalvin, this is Friday night. In 6 days, it's going to be a big. You doing anything next Thursday? There's something going on. Are you doing anything next Thursday?
Yeah, it's the job. Everybody doing it. I'm staying home with my family, celebrating, with them. I love my family. Want to experience that one-in-a-lifetime experience with them. So I'm gonna stay home, and we're gonna enjoy the time that time is hitting.
Jimbo, the last 3 or 4 drafts, if I'm not mistaken, at least the last 3, you've been invited by the NFL Network and ESPN to come to wherever the draft is, New York City, Chicago last year. You have any pointers for Dalvin to say, hey Dalvin, this is what's going on? Are you gonna wait for the phone call? Now, Dalvin's gonna be at home, but a lot goes on up there at that stage, whether Chicago, New York, or Philadelphia. What's going on with all the players that are waiting for their name to be called?
It's a unique experience to go back. As a matter of fact, I'm going up Wednesday, I fly up Wednesday, and doing a lot of ESPN, NFL Network with stuff on Wednesday and Thursday for all that. And then we have had so many players in the draft. Of course, we'll have another first rounder, and maybe possibly 2, with a bunch of guys that have been drafted. So, but the biggest thing I'm going to tell you, patience. Whatever you think is going to happen is not going to happen. Right now, the biggest thing, nobody's showing their hand. They're all playing poker. There's false rumors, there's false this, all the false information, because everybody's trying to figure out to push to get this guy here, to get this guy here, to what's. Nobody actually knows what's going on. And just sit and be patient. You're a great player. You're going to go high in the draft. Just have the patience and sit. That's the greatest advice I can give you. Because I'm going to tell you what, people ask me, who do you think? I couldn't tell you. All the guys that got drafted in the past, we've had a bunch of them. I've been wrong about 98.8% of the time. Every now and then, now, Jameis I knew because once they had the first pick, there's no one to pick in front of him. That was the only one I really knew, if you're the first pick. But other than that, you don't. Because these teams, they bounce around, and one guy does something different, and it changes the whole board to happen. The biggest thing is have patience, and it'll happen. Because at the end of the day, they still got to line up and play against you.
Sorry. The man. Watch that. Hey, how you doing there, young brother?